ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, career starts up we go. Green flag is out. Underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Alexander PC ARCA Series heads to Texas Motor Speedway for race number 2 of the season. Tonight represents a return to more traditional racing after last week saw Barrett Morton and Patrick Fuller bringing home division wins in a thrilling last lap battle. Who will be the next drivers to bring home their division wins and punch their ticket to the playoffs? We'll find out live right here tonight on V-Speed. Good evening and thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. My name is Daniel Cunningham. Alongside me up here in the booth, pulling double duty is Eddie Smith as our co-commentator and producer. And as always, we've got those camera angles courtesy of the legendary Dougie Beard. Eddie, last week was a chaotic one. We're here at Texas Motor Speedway this evening. How are you feeling about the race tonight?
Well, Texas is actually one of the toughest mile and a half to kind of get into because of that turn 1, and that'll be what these guys will be dealing with all night tonight. But there's a little separation. Everybody can get away from each other. You know, it's kind of like Daytona's like sitting on the train with about 40 other people in one little box, and boy, it gets a little stuffy. You get kind of squeezed. You feel like you don't have a whole lot of room, and it can be chaotic. Where tonight, you're going to be able to spread out a little bit. The difference is you better be ready to go, because if you somehow missed it tonight, you didn't do enough practice, you missed how to drive this track, it will eat you up, spit you out quick, and we know with these cars, it can be very, very difficult to get back up through traffic.
Indeed, it can be. This is definitely a challenging racetrack, as you mentioned. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track map for Texas Motor Speedway. You can see they're located in Fort Worth, Texas, mile-and-a-half long racetrack. That banking 20 degrees to 24 degrees in the turn. Turns 1 and 2 a little bit flatter, a little bit wider. You've got to really ease off the throttle, kind of apex it down into the turn. Got to put a little bit more wheel into it, whereas turns 3 and 4 is based off of the old layout that they had here before they did the reconfigure, where it's got a little bit more banking, it's a little bit more wide open. Still going to have to lift as the run goes on. Track opened back in August of 1996, but it definitely presents some unique challenges whenever you're here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the top 3 lanes in 1 and 2 are completely worthless. I mean, they just wasted asphalt there, putting it there. You can't drive up there. It's completely out of the way. It's good if you're trying to get out of a bad situation, but once you get up there, it's all she wrote for the next lap because you're almost full throttle in 3 and 4 carrying that speed. So 1 and 2 is going to be important that you get woed up, get down to the bottom, get back on the throttle. That's where the dirty air is going to come into play. It's so difficult. So, they could chop the top half off Texas. You're not going to see anybody running up there tonight.
You are absolutely correct. It's definitely what makes it such a challenge here. Passing can be kind of difficult. We talk about that dirty air, talk about the track position, something you see in real life, and it's something that we're going to be talking about throughout the evening here. So pitch strategy will come into play. We'll talk about that as the evening goes on here as well. But these drivers finishing up their qualifying runs, and we are just a few moments away from handing out the pole award here this evening, that Jam Printing and Promotions pole award. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. Starting on that Jam Printing and Promotion pole this evening is going to be Joseph McWhorter in the 72 car. Barrett Morton, last week's Pro Division winner, he's going to be starting to the outside in P2. Rolling off in third is going to be Tyler Gebbin with Jamie Lipke to his outside in fourth. A couple of AM drivers on that second row. Patrick Fuller, last week's AM Division winner, he is starting in fifth with Mark Cofield in the sixth position. Starting in seventh is going to be Daniel Selway Jr. with Andrew Carnes in eighth. Rounding out the top 10 here this evening is going to be George Jewell in ninth, and Samuel Yosef, last season's AM winner here, starting in 10th.
In 11th, it's going to be Casey Jones, and then in 12th, it's going to be Benjamin Richards. Benjamin is what I said. 13th, going to be Chase Barkus, off a win in the MX-5 Series. We'll see what he can do here tonight at Texas. Alan Smith in that double lock GLR Toyota Camry going to start in the 14th spot. Tom Howell going to start in 15th with Tyler Evans in 16th. 17th, Charles Aver. Right beside him is going to be Bandit's own 18th tonight in the 73, Jeremiah Holt. Jesse Fox in 19th, best name in the field, obviously, with Michael Jones rounding out your top 20.
Starting in 21st is going to be Michael Lemieux with Tyler Tillman in the 22nd position. Rolling off in 23rd, Christopher Heiner, Dakota Cole in 24th to his outside. 25th position is going to be Alex Grog in the number 100 with Edward Fedler in the 26th position. Rolling off in 27th, Tyler Emmons, David Brooks to his outside in 28th. Jonathan Lawless in 29th, and one of the boss men here, Jamie Barkus, rolling off in 30th.
31st is going to be Chance Taylor with Bill Molefield in that 32nd position. In 33rd, it's going to be Michael Kriskowski with Nick Trussell in 34th. In 35th, Nick Hummel with Bobby Whitley in 36th. And then rounding out your field tonight, that 63 Ford Mustang is going to be Curtis Long.
Those are the drivers making up the grid here this evening as the drivers are now rolling for our pace lap here. Let's take a quick look at our race analysis. 80 laps in length for the race tonight, 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed. Drivers got 4 sets of tires total available, 3 in the pits and the 1 on the car. 2 attempts at a green-white checkers should we need them. 65% fuel. Drivers saying going to be about 30 to 35 laps on a fuel run here this evening. So going to be a 2-stop race unless somebody can pull a rabbit out of the hat as far as saving fuel, but going to be an awful tall order as we go through this race here tonight.
A little quick update for the viewers. Nick Hummel, Mike Kriskowski, George Jewell, and Tyler Evans, EOLs to start the race. So a little update if you're wondering where your driver is, not starting where we said they are, that's where it's going to be.
Yes, sir, you are correct, and they are sorting that out on the pace lap as they roll here to the green flag, but that iRacing pace car is off. Field heading to the extreme scoring restart zone to get this race underway. Green flag is in the air here at Texas Motor Speedway for the Alexander PC ARCA Series. So drivers coming through turns 3 and 4 here to complete the first lap. Up at the front, it is still a side-by-side battle on that front row. Barrett Morton, Joseph McWhorter side-by-side for the lead. It looked like Barrett Morton may have gotten that lap led by just a nose out there ahead of that 72 car. But just showing early on here, it is definitely tough to complete that pass. You can see Barrett able to drop down, utilize a little bit of side draft, and he's going to clear McWhorter for the lead.
That was very important. Track position is going to be something we talk about a lot with the ARCA series. Barrett does kind of get a little bit out of shape. I don't know if he got loose or just kind of lifted on entry where McWhorter didn't at all. Now he's on the outside, and he has sort of the preferred line as they go through 1 and 2. I know I said the outside doesn't work, but early on, you can really hold off there on the outside, especially if you can get 3 and 4. You'll have that better run off the corner. But this lead is so important to fight for. You don't want to just let it go because that dirty air will be a factor, especially as the tires start to wear out. Joseph McWhorter to the front as caution out on the racetrack.
Oh, that is the 17 of Jesse Fox around near the middle back of the pack there. And we are under caution here on lap number 4 in early yellow here in the race this evening. You see a couple other drivers there. Looks like the 166 of Edward Fiedler was caught up in that as well in that Napa car. But definitely started a little bit further up. That was the first car I saw around, was the 17 of Jesse Fox. And there was contact for sure there. Couldn't quite catch who that was.
110,
I'm not sure if that
like.
was, I think that was the 710 of Chase Barkus. I think is the number on that one. A little bit confusing sometimes with these 3-digit numbers that we don't typically see here in real life racing. But let's ride on board with Chase Barkus down into turns number 3 and 4. Gets to the inside, and yeah, just slight contact there with the 17. Around he goes. Looks like Christopher Heiner caught up in that. Oh, Dakota Cole, I believe, was the other driver that got a big piece of that. Really tough contact into the outside wall there as well.
Yeah, well, it's hard to really, I hate giving my opinion on wrecks, but right there, I think it's just a difference of the way those guys are driving in 3 and 4. Like I said earlier, you can kind of go a little bit, you can almost be wide open early on in 3 and 4. And so if you go down in the corner and somebody's lifting and they're arcing it down, it's just a racing incident. I don't think Chase meant to run him over. It was just one of those deals where two guys doing totally different things, and that's what happens sometimes. So a couple guys getting caught up in that one. A few fast repairs already used. Jesse Fox, Chase Barkus used his fast repair, and it looks like Dakota Cole as well with that big contact. Christopher Heiner also using a fast repair early on lap 5. That is a pretty rough time to have to use that fast repair.
It is definitely less than ideal to have to start off with using that fast repair early on. Also, with having a large field here, we talked about it in the pre-race. There's 36 drivers that have taken the green flag here this evening. Going to put you behind on track position as well, but this will also help out on that fuel mileage situation a little bit. If we get a few early cautions, it wouldn't surprise me to see, especially some drivers near the back of the pack, maybe come down, top off on fuel, see if you could turn this into a one-stop race should we get a long green flag run. Definitely, when you get these early cautions, it can definitely open up the door for some strategy calls.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You're going to have to. The track position is going to be too important. You're going to hear us sort of kind of make this race a little bit more boring than we probably should, but it's just being honest and saying that track position here is going to matter. You're not going to be able to drive from the back of the field. It's just not going to happen. You're going to run out of time. The tires are going to start to wear. You're just not going to be able to do it. So you're absolutely right. You got to come up with some kind of strategy if you're in the back. Find a way to get back up to the front. We were talking about at the beginning of the race, Tyler Evans, George Jewell, all having those penalties. Well, actually, they're 2 laps down because they had a 30-second hold due to a code of conduct penalty. And, Goat Locker has got a lot of people racing. We got two races going on at the same time. There is a lot of people in here, and a lot of people have disagreements. And sometimes the disagreements boil over on the track, boil over on voice comms after, and those guys had a little deal. They got it fixed up. They're all good to go, but had a 30-second hold, so those guys are actually 2 laps down. So they're really going to have to come up with some really big strategy calls here and maybe some lucky breaks to get back on the lead lap.
And that will actually put us with a 3-horse battle for the free pass position should another caution come out. All three of those drivers, Tyler Evans, George Jewell, and also Curtis Long, 2 laps down, so all racing for position to try to get that free pass. But up at the front, you've got 2 pro drivers on the front row, 2 amateur drivers on the second row. Class lead battles starting right from the get-go here as the field gets ready to hit that extreme scoring restart zone. In control of Joseph McWhorter. Really good launch there for the 72. Green flag is back in the air here on lap number 7 at Texas.
Little accordion effect towards the back kind of calls a little checkup, and you can kind of see how spread out everybody is as they're trying to get everything up through the gears, and you can see the separation from the top 2. But I got to say, man, I'm really impressed with the representation of the amateur class up here at the front. Mark Cofield now leading it as he was able to get around Tyler Gebbin, and you got Jamie Lipke up there with Patrick Fuller, last week's winner, Andrew Carr, and Samuel Joseph, Alan Smith. You know, that is a lot of amateur drivers showing what they got up at the front as everybody's starting to get down to the bottom and start to try to get themselves in position here. You've got a side-by-side battle back here in the 5th place between Jamie Lipke and Tyler Gebbin.
And that is a battle for position within the AM class for 2nd overall in the amateur class, actually, between those 2 drivers. And, you know, something we've talked about this Pro-Am split. It's something that they started doing last season, or maybe it was the season before, that they actually started that here in Goat Locker with this ARCA series. But the numbers aren't exactly even this season. In previous seasons, it seemed like it was about a 50-50 split between the 2, but it's about a 2-to-1 split between the AM drivers to the pro drivers.
Yeah.
And I say that to say it is going to be an extremely competitive field with this amateur field. You know, we're already talking about, we've mentioned playoffs a couple of times, drivers locking in with wins. I really feel like there is a possibility there may not be any playoff spots in that amateur field that are based solely on points. We have more than enough drivers that could go out there and we could have 8 drivers lock in strictly on wins.
Yeah, well, that's a great point, man. I hadn't thought about that at all, but yeah, that's 100% right. There are a ton of amateur drivers, and yeah, you know, the more and more I think about the Pro and Am, the more I love it. I just love the whole thing because, like, right now, Mark Cofield is keeping up with these guys. He's actually running them down. He's starting to put a little pressure here on Barrett Morton as Barrett is kind of stalled out right around that 0.2 of a second mark with that dirty air. But Mark Cofield running up here in 3rd, and what I love is, you know, every once in a while we get some drivers that race in Goat Locker that go out and whoop everybody's butt. And you know what? This kind of helps neutralize that with the Pro-Am because Mark Cofield doesn't have to go up there and actually beat Joseph McWhorter. Now, he could. Ain't no doubt about it. Mark Cofield has the talent to do it. Right now, he's in a mess trying to get through some lap traffic. And also, you can see Daniel Selway Jr. behind him as he's trying to put pressure on his teammate Barrett Morton. But there's no pressure for him to go out there and beat, you know, the Mark Whitleys, to go out there and beat the Ken Hubers and, you know, Jennifer Gardner's, Jeremy Gardner's. There's no pressure for them guys to do that. They can go out there and they just have to beat who they're in their division with. And so it just gives you such an opportunity, and I love it. Caution, they'll back out on the speedway.
Big wreck in the back of the pack. That is Benjamin Richards and the 76 car of Jonathan Lawless, both caught up in that, and really hard contact there for the 56 of Richards. You can see it looks like he's driving a modified out there right now. Entire front end missing off of that car. Just took a look at the 76 of Lawless there also. Right front tire not even turning on that. Let's take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay. See exactly what happened here. Another incident over in turns 3 and 4. We're thinking about 3 wide there momentarily, and 76 of Lawless comes down the track. Probably had the spotter call for clear when he started to make that move, but the momentum on the bottom lane there, just a shorter way around, both probably running close to full throttle, and the gap just closed up too quick for him to get down there.
Well, and you know, one thing that it's so hard for us to see as viewers and broadcasters is that these guys they can't see the whole track. They can't see everything like what we can. And so you kind of see that and you go, hey, how does he not know that there's somebody below him? And, well, it's easy for us to sit up here and say, well, there was somebody there, but he's looking out the front windshield. He's trying to make a move down on the inside, and sometimes you just don't realize somebody's there till it's too late. And that I feel like that's kind of what happened there. It's Benjamin Richards slowly making his way into pit road. I do like the paint scheme there on the rear quarter panel. Love that, to see that that love from Benjamin over here at V-Speed. We appreciate you, buddy. I know Benjamin Richards, I think, does a little bit of broadcasting himself, so he knows how to get around the booth for sure, so we appreciate the shout-out. But, yeah, I think that's all it was. You know, John Lawless, a newer driver, one of the Sim Rig recipients from Goat Locker, and been having some really good races. And right there, just a learning experience of I'm focused out my front windshield, but I still have to pay attention, to that what's coming up behind me, and I think that's all that happened. So. But they'll go down, get a fast repair, get back out there, they'll be okay.
Yeah, and even to kind of build on your point there, Eddie, it's also more difficult the further back in the pack you get. When you're racing like that, where you've got more and more cars just on top of each other, you've only got so many eyes to look at, your relative, listen to your spotter, look at your mirror, your windshield. Whereas if you're up near the front of the pack, you may only have one or two cars that you're really focusing on. So, unfortunate situation, but definitely not anything, no intent or anything of that nature there. It's pace under caution. Bit of a split decision here on the field. Some drivers electing to come down pit road. Our top 11 drivers have yet to pit in this race. 12th place, Jesse Fox. 13th place, Michael Jones. 14th of Chase Barkas. They came down on that first caution. Took fast repair, damage repair, topped off with fuel, but the first driver out on track that came down on this caution is going to be all the way back in 15th place. So this is really jumbling up the field. That's Jeremiah Holt there. He's going to be the first one out of the pits on this pit cycle. And even still, just looking at his pit time, just 6.2 seconds in the box. That tells me either 2 tires or fuel only here. Everybody else behind him looks like they took 4. So a bunch of different agendas here as we get the double file to get ready to go back green.
Yeah, obviously maybe concerned with the amount of tire sets we have with it. We're not even a quarter of the way through yet. You start on one set, and you have 3 sets in the pits is the way that it works. So Jeremiah Holt kind of playing the long game of I don't want to use the set early, where Mark Cofield, Daniel Selway, Barrett Morton, Tyler Gebbin, Alan Smith, and Charles Abert all came down on this caution and took 4 tires. So they will have a really nice advantage. And if it goes green, those tires will make a difference, even though we've only been going for about probably 12 laps under green. Still can make a huge difference, but, McWhorter, Lipke, Jones, Fuller all feeling like it's a little bit too early to take that set of tires and also fuel. So, I'm loving how this is playing out. Different pit strategies, and we kind of talked about the top of the show, Daniel. It's you got to do something different. If you're going to be looking at the tailpipe of Joseph McWhorter all night like Barrett Morton might have been, he comes down pit road, gets 4 tires. I love the call.
If you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. I think that's a Larry Mack saying that I've heard a few times on the broadcast in real life before. So we'll steal that one here tonight, and we'll say that these drivers are putting that to good use here. So you see the pace car is off field, will be in control of Joseph McWhorter in that extreme scoring restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are rolling yet again here at Texas. McWhorter with a good jump. Gets out to a pretty good lead here over that second row of Casey Jones. And actually, no, I'm sorry, that is not Casey Jones up there. That is Casey Jones and Jamie Lipke up there.
Yeah.
They got me all turned around right now, Eddie.
well, Casey Jones has been moving up in the top 5. It started in that 11th position, now is up to 2nd. And has been moving his way up through the field. So Casey Jones has got some speed under that 34 machine. Not somebody we see up front all the time, but he is kind of one of those he has spurts of speed where he finds a little bit of speed, and you'll see him up at the front randomly. So Casey Jones maybe having a little bit extra under the hood tonight and running in 2nd, doing a great job. But we got a battle back here. Jamie Barkas, who we saw start towards the back a little bit, has already moved himself up in. He started in 30th, and he's already up to 5th. So no surprise there to see the 15 up through the field, making some moves, trying to make his way up towards the front. The pit strategy obviously playing into it, but, man, pretty cool to see.
Yeah, Jamie Barkus, first time we've called his name here this evening. And I got to ask Eddie, he's been starting back in 30th like you mentioned. He's been getting outrun by his son Chase Barkus that's in the field tonight. Now, you have had the opportunity to race against your dad here in the ARCA series, Alan Smith. Is there a little bit of extra motivation to say, hey, I want to beat my old man, or I want to beat that family member that I'm racing with?
I've always been really supportive of my dad and wanting him to do well. I think deep down, I know he's not going to beat me. He's not going to beat me, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, I think it's more. Oh, as they make contact, Andrew Carnes down to the inside wall. Contact with Chance Taylor, and coming back up on the track. Multiple contacts as these drivers try to slow down. You see the 44 of, I don't even know who that is, Michael Kriskowski coming to a slow there. Right as we were talking about it, Andrew Carnes gets tagged and goes right down hard, hit to the inside wall.
Quite a few drivers that have the meatball flag after that one. See, Tom Howe has it, Jesse Fox, Chance Taylor, Andrew Carnes, Kriskowski, like you had mentioned. Let's go back and take a look at this one on the V-Speed instant replay. Carnes comes down just a little bit, just not quite clear. The 14 of Chance Taylor there right beside him, and massive damage for both of those cars as we ride on board here with the 14 of Chance Taylor. And Carnes definitely had the momentum off of the corner there. He had the momentum off of turn number 2. Just a slight bit early there on the move down to the inside, and contact between the two of them there.
Yeah, it's really hard to say what happened there. You can kind of see from that angle, Chance Taylor was all up in that upper groove trying to, sort of crowding Andrew Carnes, and I'm not blaming Chance Taylor at all. And you're more welcome to disagree with me, but it does seem like Chance Taylor is being really, really close there, and actually may have initiated a little bit of net code of contact because, Andrew Carnes kind of turning down the track would be pretty wild. But yeah, that was a wild hit for Andrew Carnes. Jesus.
Yeah, and I believe you are 100% correct there, Eddie. It looked like there may have been a touch of net code. I know ever since they released these new ARCA cars, it seems like the net code is a little bit more prominent in these compared to some of the other cars. And that definitely could have played into it. It looked like they were just trying to, maybe Chance was trying to side draft just a little bit, coupled with maybe Andrew moving down just a touch, and it just led iRacing to say, hey, y'all are going to make contact. We're going to go ahead and that's going to go ahead and happen here. So unfortunate series of events. And again, shaking up the running order here a little bit more. Some of those drivers that elected to stay out on that last caution now coming down pit road. As you can see, Joseph McWhorter is going to be back in the pack a little bit here. He falls back a little bit. Jamie Barkus still has yet to come down for his first stop of the day. He's going to be your overall race leader. Daniel Selway in second. Charles Abert running in third. He's going to be the amateur division leader with Tyler Tillman in fourth, and Chase Barkus now in fifth. So, we were just hyping up this Barkus on Barkus battle here. And now they're both going to be in the top 5 overall when we go back green. So that'll be another little wrinkle to keep an eye on as we get the green flag and go back racing here. But while we've got a moment under this caution, let's go ahead and take a second to thank one of our great league sponsors, and that is going to be GTR Simulators. GTR Simulator is a leader in professional grade racing and flight simulators, delivers immersive real-world experiences trusted by racers, pilots, educators, and entertainment venues worldwide. From home setups to commercial and trading solutions, GTR Simulator puts you in the driver's seat. There is a special discount for Goat Locker Racing in the shop tab at goatlockerracing.org. We appreciate them coming on board, supporting everything that we do over here.
Well, let's break it down just a little bit for everybody to kind of keep caught up and understand where everybody's at. Jamie Barkus has yet to come down pit road. He's got the oldest tires in the field. But Daniel Selway, Charles Abert, Tyler Tillman, Benjamin Richards, Nick Hummel, they came down that last caution and got tires. And then you got Barrett Moore and Mark Cofield went back down, and Tyler Gibbon to get fuel only on that stop. So thinking about the fuel strategy. And then you got fresh tires for Joseph McWhorter, Casey Jones, Jamie Lipke all came down on this caution. So a wide variety of pit strategies at the moment. I think Barkus obviously in the worst position at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out with cautions, and you never know what can happen.
Yeah, just never know how it's going to play out, how things may fall your way, but we are just moments away from finding out. As we head to that extreme scoring restart zone, green flag is going to be coming back out here in the air. And a bit of a discombobulated restart. They're already wrecking in the back. It's the 65 of Samuel Joseph gets turned in that University of Miami scheme. Hopefully not a foreteller of how their night is going to go in that national championship game. But caution is already back out on the speedway after a stack up on that restart. Take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay. See the 81 there of Nick Hummel. It's like he gets hit from behind, just part of the accordion effect there. That was Mark Cofield. Cofield takes a pretty substantial hit to the front end there as well. And oh, good Lord, I think that was Dakota Cole that came in with a pretty big hit there as well. And yeah, that was just a really weird restart there all the way around.
Yeah, let's go on board with, we're on board with Nick Hummel at the moment. Kind of see if he maybe didn't get it in gear. What really caused that checkup? I think he might have been in fourth gear, Daniel. You see those RPMs are really low for a restart. He's 3,400, and he's trying to get on it. And you can see everybody kind of taking off, and then it jumps up to 5,000 RPMs. I think he might have had the thing in fourth gear and forgot to shift it back down.
And you know, I can honestly say that I have done that before.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that's been on iRacing has done that before at some point. You roll around under caution in third or fourth gear, trying to just keep the RPMs down, save a little bit of fuel. Next thing you know, green flag's coming out, and you say, oh, crap, I forgot to put it back in second gear to get going on this restart. So that very well, and that would make sense. I mean, like you said, when everybody was starting to go, he didn't get on it. It looked like he didn't get on it. There was just no change in the RPMs. So that is a very real possibility there of what may have happened with that driver.
Yeah, I was trying to look around and see if I could find, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times we run under fourth gear, even clutch it a little bit just to try to save a little bit of fuel, like you said. And, you know, he may have been in third gear, and then, you know, it just seemed like just did not get going whenever the green flag dropped. So, you know, we can't honestly say for sure without actually talking to him, but that's kind of what it looked like. But regardless, I mean, you know, you kind of look and you kind of scoff at it. And I'm always apologist for drivers on track because they're only seeing what's out their windshield. And a lot of times on these restarts, you're right up on somebody. You can't see what's in front of you. You're hoping the guy in front of you knows what he's doing and doesn't have an issue. Somebody doesn't go or checks up or whatever, you're going to run into the back. So that's where that accordion effect happens. And it's so easy for us to sit up here and go, oh, man, they can't drive. Oh, what a silly thing to do. Just check up. It ain't that easy. It's not that easy to find it, find out what's going on ahead of you until maybe it's too late. So that's how that accordion stuff happens. It's just part of racing. We see that in real life all the time as well. So, you know, a lot of people will kind of laugh and think, oh, that's silly. You shouldn't have that happen. But it's very, very easy to do. But so right now, you know, what that means for the field, Mark Cofield, somebody who we thought might be able to get the amateur win, look really fast. Now behind the 8-ball, got a faster pair. He's back in 25th now after that contact. I think that gave him a meatball. He had to go down pit road and use that faster pair. So somebody had to go back, you know, made that pit strategy call. We talked about going back, getting 4 tires, Daniel. What it could do is put you in the back, give you an advantage, but it also puts you back there in the mess.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, too, with these restarts, we've talked about the running order has been jumbled up because of the different pit agendas. And Eddie, you know this just as well, is that restarting up near the front of the pack, the mid pack, and the back of the pack are all vastly different, especially with a field size like this. You can't just mat it to the floor when the green flag comes out. Especially you get a little further back, you've really got to finesse it, kind of base it off of when the cars around of you are starting to accelerate. So even though you could say, hey, we've had a couple of restarts, these guys should be experts by now, it's not always that easy if you're restarting in a position that you're not familiar with. So that definitely makes it a little bit tougher on these drivers as well. But the utmost confidence that they will get it sorted out and they'll be able to get this thing rolling here. As we get ready to go back green, Jamie Barkis looking like a genius out there. Hasn't come down pit road yet. He's staying in front of everything as we head to this extreme scoring restart zone.
Oh, man.
As Jamie Barkis takes the green, and they are wrecking again in the back. It looked like that started with Bill Mulfield. You see the 2 of Michael Jones is around there as well. 81 of Nick Hummel. I'm not sure if he actually got involved or if he maybe just kind of took an evasive maneuver there to go down pit road and miss it, but let's go back and take another look here at this stack up on the restart.
Yeah, same thing, Daniel.
Yeah,
it's the same exact thing. Yeah, we just touched on it.
Absolutely identical.
Yeah, we just touched on it. And we'll try to pull back a little bit and see the whole picture, because Bill Mulfield, you kind of go, what the heck? Who ran over him? But you just, I think it's, who is it? The 02 of Michael Jones? Was that who was right behind him?
I think that was the 2 of Michael Jones. You are correct. In that Red Bull car was directly behind that. Oh no, actually that was Fiedler was in between them as well. You can see Andrew Carnes, see Alan Smith taking evasive maneuvers there as well.
Well, here's what Bill Mulfield can see on board with him, and we'll see the checkup. And he does have a little gap, but see how it checks up so fast, and then the checkup happens multiple cars ahead of him. And you're going to see that. We'll give sort of a blimp view, see if we can't find it. But see, there's a lot of gaps there, which also can help with that. You can see Jeremiah Holt, that 73, check up, and then the 145 checks up really hard. And that's the result of it right there. David Brooks feeling a little bit nervous about how that was going to go. And you can see the gap right there. We'll go on board with him. You see he checks up as the field, and then behind him, it's just mess from all that. So.
And Eddie, there was actually a secondary incident after this as well involving the 34 of Casey Jones. I saw him sideways down past the pit entrance.
Oh, you're right.
I did not see what happened to him. I just saw him sitting sideways in the middle of the track, but this is well after the caution flag comes out. Just trying to get around, and I mean, that almost looked like another netcoat there at first, just the way that the car took off to the left with him there. Super strange incident all the way around.
Yeah, it looks like I don't know who that is, the 10, or is that Chase Barkis again?
That is Chase Barkis in the 710, and that almost, I would have to see it like from the onboard of Barkis, but I didn't think
a little
they
bit
actually
loose there.
made contact at first.
Yeah, he gets into the grass a little bit, and here comes Casey, and yeah, I just don't think Barkis was ready to check up, and I don't know why, if the caution was out, you would come down in front of somebody and check up like that, but my goodness. You know, we're over here telling them how hard it is, how, it's but at some point we do have to race. And so hopefully we can get this thing kind of, but everybody's looks like, because that's happened, Daniel, I don't know how you feel about this. Everybody could disagree about this, but it does seem like there's too much gap there. And a lot of times race control is telling these guys, hey guys, get the gaps close, get nose to tail, because that actually keeps you from having these type of issues. When you leave multiple car gaps, all you do is leave less time for people to be able to adjust. You run up on somebody, then you slow down real fast, and that causes all that issue. But if you're nose to tail, you don't really have that accordion effect. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts about it as we get ready to go green here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. It seems counterintuitive. If you're not an iRacer and you're just watching along at home, you might think, well, if you're leaving more gap, and it's just like driving on the interstate. If you're leaving more gap to the car in front of you, that gives you more time to avoid incidents. But in reality, like you were saying, Eddie, if you leave those gaps, it gives you more opportunity to just mat the gas, pull up on somebody, and then have to abruptly slam on your brakes. And it just amplifies that entire accordion effect that we've been talking about. So, at this point, if you're race control, you're probably wanting these drivers to tighten up these restarts, get a little bit closer together, and not leave those huge gaps. But we've got live race control running the shows here in both of the ARCA East and ARCA West series. I have the utmost confidence that they will be relaying messages to the drivers to get everything cleaned up so we can get some good green flag racing in here and get this show rolling here this evening. 31 laps completed when we hit the line this time by, heading to the extreme scoring restart zone. See if third time is the charm here. Green flag is out. Jamie Barkis with another good jump up there at the front of the pack. He's going to clear for the lead with Selway in second behind him. It's like the field a little bit cleaner through that restart zone this time as they head off into 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looked like a bunch of grandpas driving out there this time. So race control must have said something. Oh, Barkis might have got on the loud horn himself. As you can see, Benjamin Richards taking a big dive down to the inside of Tyler Tillman. Tillman going to be way out of the groove. As, man, we got a battle for the lead growing. We got a battle for second, a battle for third. Hey, everybody's getting with. They've been itching to do some racing here.
They absolutely have. You know, you've been sitting here pacing for a while. You're ready to go back green. Now's your opportunity. Jamie Barkis, I'm not going to lie, he's doing a better job hanging on those old tires than I thought he would be able to. He's actually able to carry the momentum, fend off that challenge for the lead, but he's going to have Barrett Morton now behind him with a 22-lap advantage on those tires. That's total laps. So few of those under caution, but still Barrett Morton with substantially fresher tires on that car. He's into the number 2 overall position now. See if he can get up there and mount that challenge to the lead. Just behind these 3 drivers, you've got those Pro Division drivers 1, 2, and 3 right now. Charles Abert in 4th overall, putting on a challenge for 3rd overall, actually. He's your current amateur division leader.
Battle for the lead has started, and it's over. Barrett Morton with the fresher tires. I got to praise ARCA Racing a little bit here and kind of.
Oh, the one car of Christopher Heiner is around. Doesn't look like it's going to bring out a caution, though, as he spun off track into the grass. Did a nice job of not hitting anything there. But we are still green here for the time being.
Got a little help from Samuel Yosef there, it looked like.
Yeah, unfortunate. Going to lose all that track position, but still a heck of a save there to be able to hang on to that. Looked like he did actually have to get a black flag cleared by race control, iRacing, giving him a penalty for unsafe pit entry there as he saved the car spinning down to the inside of the track. Not something that we're going to penalize when you're just trying to save the car, but taking a look here on track. Good battle here. You've got the 56 of Richards, who was missing the entire front end of his car earlier. You've got Joseph McWhorter in the 72. He was leading the race earlier, got back behind on that pit cycle, and he is coming up through the field with a vengeance right now, up into the 4th spot overall.
Yeah, and I was about to get ready to explain the iRacing tire model and how well they've done at making this model work. As you can see, Barkis now starting to slip on those older tires. And, you know, on the first couple laps, just like in real life, those tires, the temperature is what matters. The wear and how long you've been on them, it matters, absolutely, but the temperature makes a huge difference. And whenever Barkis was under caution, those tires were cooling off. And so the first couple laps on old tires, it feels good, Daniel. You go out there and you go, oh, snap, I think I'm better than I think. These tires are holding up pretty good. Then you get the heat cycle in them. You get the tires up to temp, and you can kind of see what's happening to Barkis right now. He's just starting to fade quickly as they are up to temp. So Barrett Morton watching that 72 in the mirror. That's who he's been racing all night long, and now McWhorter up to 3rd position. But Barrett Morton has what he didn't have before, Daniel, which is clean air.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting here with Jamie Barkis now to see what's his strategy. I mean, he is so off sequence of everybody else in the field. We said pre-race, probably about 30 to 35 laps on fuel. Obviously, the cautions early on will help with that. You can save a lot. You can shut it off, clutch the car. A lot that you can do to stretch that under caution. But is he going to be in a window where he can potentially one-stop this from here? I mean, splitting it in half would probably leave him just a little bit short, as there is a yellow out on the track. The 2 of Michael Jones, heavy damage. Just saw the front end flying off of that car. He is stopped down on the inside of turns number 3 and 4, and that is going to bring out the caution. Looks like somehow that front end popped back on the car, but take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay. It's a 36 of George Jewell down there to his inside, and pretty much tells the tale there. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle if maybe there was a little checkup from the 2 or if George just had a lot of momentum. take a look on board here with the 36 and see exactly what he saw heading down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. It's like they're also coming up on a couple of cars that a little bit slower, maybe a little bit older tires here as well. Yeah, I can't really put that. I mean, I can't really put that on either driver. That's just, they're just going for it at that point, trying to navigate a little bit slower traffic. You know, George had some momentum on the inside, trying to carry that down there and take that spot away, and just not quite enough room for both drivers to go for that gap at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, George was committed to the corner, and I think Michael was really paying attention to what was going on in front, trying to get to the inside of that car and race an incident. You know, I don't think you can see it any other way than just two guys racing on track, and they come together and just could not make any headway there. Interesting. You know, we're talking about Barkas and his strategy here. I think this is working out perfectly for him. He's going to get to come down pit road. He started in 30th. Going to get to come down pit road. This time everybody's coming in for the most part, and he'll be able to get 4 tires and fuel, be right up there with him, and is still on his first set of tires. So this could not have been any better for the 15 machine of Jamie Barkas. Worked out perfect.
Well, don't let him hear me say this, but right now Jamie Barkas might be the smartest man in all of Goat Locker with this pitch strategy call. Like you said,
Lord,
he's
don't say that.
Up there. Oh yeah, good Lord! Don't let him hear that. We don't need his head getting any bigger.
If his head gets any bigger, he's gonna fly away, Daniel. We need to keep him on the ground, and so to relax on that, we'll give him the props as we see the race off pit road. As you can see, the 828 come out of pit road with that fuel only. Benjamin Richards fuel only. Couple drivers coming down just taking fuel. And Barrett Morton coming down with 4 tires. He'll be the first on those set of 4 tires. Going to hang on to that. It is not in the lead. He's back in 9th, but he's got the freshest tires. And Joseph McWhorter, big problem, big issue from him. Must have had some contact with the outside wall. Thought I saw him make some contact sort of off the screen as we were watching another battle, Daniel, and I think he made contact and elected to stay on pit road, get that damage fixed. About 37 seconds on pit road, so McWhorter all the way back to 23rd. So a lot of developments, man. This has been an exciting race. A lot of comers and goers.
Yeah, we've been sitting here talking about how hard it is to pass, and you know, if you're in the back, you got to try something different. They must have been listening to us.
Everybody's trying,
definitely trying something different.
Yeah,
and even just taking a look right now at your running order, top 6 drivers stayed out. That's Patrick Fuller, Casey Jones, Tyler Tillman, Mark Cofield, David Brooks, and Alan Smith all stayed out on this caution. So, yeah, just mixing it up a little bit more and just you know, giving us more to follow here, a bunch of different agendas. But while we're getting ready to go back green, the one to go in the air, let's go ahead and take a quick moment here to thank another one of our league sponsors, and that is going to be Glove Station. And at Glove Station, they are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, they've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. Again, another one of our great sponsors here, been with us for a while. We appreciate all their support. You see, lights are actually back on that iRacing pace car. So Race Control has added 1 additional lap to this caution to extend for, not quite sure why we extended it, but probably an issue with trying to oh, actually, I just got an update on what it is. The field has been told that if we have any more restart shenanigans, we're going to single file restarts. So, again, like I said earlier, Race Control will do what they need to do to get things cleaned up, get the racing going in a green flag fashion. And that was actually the reason for this. It's basically the principal coming on the intercom and saying, hey, guys, clean it up or we're going single file here.
Yeah, I think that was a caution ago is when they made that sort of warning to the drivers. Not quite sure why the extra lap kind of popped in, because the iRacing world actually didn't do that. So hopefully iRacing's not having a meltdown here as far as timing and scoring. That sort of happens all the time, it seems like, especially when cautions happen before the folks cross the start-finish line. But we had a clean restart there, so hopefully that's not an issue going forward. Don't know what's going on there. But, yeah, I mean, they got some notables up here at the front, Daniel, as we get ready to go green. Alan Smith been on pit road a couple times with some damage, over a minute of damage repair, now sitting in that 5th position, 4th in class, after pitting 14 laps ago. Then you got Patrick Fuller, who came down 22 laps ago. So similar situation to what Barkas was in. You got Casey Jones, who came down 14 laps ago. Tyler Tillman, 29 laps ago. Mark Cofield came down and took a fast repair 15 laps ago. So many different strategies going on right now. And the top 10 is mostly amateur drivers besides Selway and Barrett in 9th and 10th. And you got Casey Jones in that 2nd position. So a lot going on right now. We'll try to keep you updated on what's who's doing what as the race goes on.
Yeah, and I love what Patrick Fuller is doing here. He got that win at Daytona last week, clinching his way into the playoffs for that amateur division. Roll the dice here, stay out, see what you can do with some track position as they head to that extreme scoring restart zone. Green flag going to be in the air yet again. Good jump there for Fuller, but I don't know if race control is going to call that a lane change before the start-finish line on Fuller. Looked like he drifted up just a touch early there. To keep an eye on that and see if any penalty does come out of that. But we are rolling underway here, back green, and Fuller is getting ready to be under full attack from these fresher tires. Casey Jones there right behind him. Caution flag, it looks like, is out again. I see the 145, David Brooks, is around with massive damage on that car. You see him sitting there on the inside of the track with, I mean, just absolutely destroyed. Front end is killed. Looks like he's doing a little bit of a hermit crab down there on the apron. And we are under caution yet again here in this race. Let's take a look on the V-Speed instant replay and see what happened here. Got Barrett Morton, some of these drivers on fresher tires trying to get around the 145. See, Barrett Morton had just cleared for position, and
good grief.
I think this comes back to what we were talking about earlier with another one of the incidents, Eddie.
Yeah,
if
well,
you're
hold on.
Tires.
No, check this out right
here.
here. Yeah. Like right here, he checks up a ton and is completely like we were talking about. Look how he's so slow, and that kind of checks everybody up. We're watching the 145 of David Brooks, and that kind of where this stack up started. And then you're going to see some drivers making some wild moves here. And, yeah, he's checking up again. Like, he is doing a massive, massive checkup into the corner that is normally wide open. So, kind of the point you were making is we got a big collection of faster drivers and drivers who may not feel as comfortable as others. And that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, and that was kind of reminiscent of one of our earlier cautions that we saw with just drivers checking up a little bit more in 3 and 4 when you can take it wide open, especially on those fresher tires. And I believe the 145 was one of those that had stayed out on older tires, so probably struggling with grip just a little bit more there. And yeah, it looked like he was actually about 20 or 22 laps in on his stint when that green flag came out. And he's got all those guys behind him on fresher tires that were up front on pure pace before that. So it's really just a recipe for disaster at times when you have these differing strategies, just the huge variances in speed like that. It's just so hard to – sometimes it's just hard to stay out of the way when you know those guys are going to be coming up on you that fast.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to say there's a negative about the Pro-Am split, well, it's this type of stuff where you have pit strategies all over the place, differing skill levels. Go Locker is a great place for if you're a fast alien guy, people want you here. If you're a slow guy that's never turned a lap, Go Locker wants you here. And in the ARCA series, it's sort of a hurricane of low and high. It's a warm front and a cold front kind of coming together, and sometimes it can create a storm. And it felt like we were at the eye of the storm there, where everything was just coming together. And that's just part of what makes this series so exciting. Now, right now, I'm sure you're frustrated if you're a viewer or even the drivers, that there's been a lot of cautions and it's feeling a little messy. But remember, there's a lot of guys, and I've been calling Go Locker races for up to 4 or 5 years now, and there are half the drivers in here are names that I don't know, Dave. We don't know these guys, and these guys don't know each other. this is the second race of the season, so everybody's kind of learning who's doing what, and then you got all these strategies. It is a whirlwind of just stuff going on right now. As the series goes on, that'll kind of iron itself out. But right now, we're just kind of seeing those that sort of I don't know. I don't want to say like anything too negative, but just kind of growing pains.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And really, you see this, I've seen it in other series as well. You get the first few races of the season, you've got some new faces in there, some drivers that may not have raced together before. There's always a learning curve with learning the other drivers that you're around, their tendencies. It makes it tough. And then last week being a super speedway race, you don't really learn anything about the other drivers then. It's not a traditional type of race. It's something that we only do once or twice a season. So it does make it more difficult, but I'm with you. It'll clean up. It'll improve as the season goes along. Got a lot of great racing ahead of us here, but still got about 32 laps to go here this evening as we head to that extreme scoring restart zone. Patrick Fuller still up there at the front of the field, gets a pretty good jump. Casey Jones there leading that outside lane. He's in the number 2 position. Battle between teammates for third there between Mark Cofield and Alan Smith. And back here, we've got some of those drivers on fresher tires trying to find their way back up to the front of the field as well.
Yeah, we just saw Tyler Tillman just fall through the field in 1 and 2, 34 laps on those tires. And you can see, this is exactly what we've been talking about. It's just they're about to get run over because of the speed difference in those tires. And he's starting to settle in here. It looks like he's got a teammate behind him in Alex Gogg. But, just so much going. If we can get some green flag laps, though, I do think that will help kind of get everybody kind of situated. But right now, watching Casey Jones take the lead, Mark Cofield in second, Alan Smith in third, and then here comes your tires. Daniel Selway with Barrett Morton on his back bumper. These guys have to navigate traffic as quick as possible. You want to be the leader when you get out front. On the fresh tires, you want to get up front, do like Barrett Morton did, get the lead, get that clean air, because then you'll have a huge advantage.
Absolutely, and if you're Daniel Selway, you've seen Barrett Morton running up front in this race already this evening. The other thing is, too, you kind of want to put a buffer in between yourself and him. If you can clear these drivers up here on older tires a little bit quicker than the 9 of Morton, you can get out there, get to the front, use the clean air to just kind of pace yourself while he's still burning his tires up trying to get through the field. It's only going to help you out as we go longer. It looked like he got tighter, something off of the turn. Alan Smith gets caught, and Selway gets absolutely demolished after that. And, Eddie, it almost looked like a hardware issue at first with as quick as that car just shot to the right. That was just so peculiar.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Yeah, I was surprised as heck. And the 00 obviously was surprised as he was right there. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you can see his front tires are all.
Really
Let's go on board with him. Go on
this
board
may
here.
Give us a really good view here as well with the onboard. If we can see the steering wheel input, maybe see the RPMs or something to that effect of what just happened. And
he's
actually,
blinking out.
Eddie, just to confirm here, I did actually just see Selway posted in the race comps chat that his wheel died.
There it is.
And yeah, you can see it. Locked in one position like that, there is absolutely nothing you can do. I have had that happen to me personally before. It's such a helpless feeling, especially if you lose all your pedals and everything with it too. There's just literally nothing you can do.
Well, and you kind of saw him blink on the backstretch, and that was what started that. It was some sort of USB issue on his computer caused him to blink out. You'll see that from guys that are blinking a bunch. It'll actually be their wheels and pedals having some sort of like interference with their PC that causes that. And you saw it blink on the backstretch, and then going down to the corner, that thing went out. So, we don't have mechanical issues here on iRacing. The tires don't really blow out like you would see a puncture. Motors don't blow randomly. Obviously you can blow them by overheating them or whatnot, but you don't get a lot of mechanical failures like you see in real life. These are the mechanical failures. We talked about netcode beforehand. If you don't know what netcode is very simple. We have almost 40 guys racing on the track. Their computers are sending signals and letting iRacing know where they are. iRacing is then sending the signal back, letting them know where everybody else is. And then iRacing's also getting signals from all the other 30 drivers and 30-plus drivers, and simultaneously predicting where they are on the track. So netcode can be just where the server and that person's computer just didn't line up, and the iRacing thinks they're in a different spot than they actually are, and contact happens. So you have that type of stuff, and then you have stuff like this, computer problems, wheel issues that can cause this type of incident. And this is the mechanical failures of virtual racing, is that you're going to have a screen go out. You remember Denny Hamlin back in COVID, his daughter, while he was racing in an invitational, turned his monitor off while he's racing, caused a big wreck. That doesn't happen in real life, but it can definitely happen here. So just another example of what these guys have to deal with. And we've been seeing all kinds of issues. Now we put this on your bingo card, Daniel. We got connection issues. We got restart problems. We got contact, people running over each other, tire stuff, and now we have equipment failures.
So, Eddie, if the dog comes in and unplugs your steering wheel while you're racing, does that chalk up as a mechanical failure?
I think so. I think I got to call it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Sometimes you don't have the son or the daughter to come in and unplug it. You got the dog coming in, sniffing around, wondering why your race is taking so long, and next thing you know, Rover's done unplugged your steering wheel from the computer. So
it could happen.
It really is unfortunate. I mean, like I said, I've had that happen before in the league. I had it happen once when I was actually about 4 or 5 seconds out in front of the entire field in a league once, and steering wheel just completely shut off middle of the track. It really is. It's such a helpless feeling. I'm sure that Daniel hates that it happened, along with the fact that it also took other drivers out as well. So yeah, things Kale never said. My steering wheel died on me. We can chalk that up as part of that here this evening. But getting down to the end phases of the race here, I mean, we're at a point where many of these drivers come down pit road, going to be able to make it to the end from here. And it looks like everybody from 16th on back has been down pit road for what could potentially be the final stop of the day. Would have to think everybody else is probably going to have to pit at least one more time for fuel before the end of this race. May be able to make it with cautions, but just something else to keep an eye on here is who can make it and who can't.
Well, hey, let me jump in real quick.
How that strategy plays out.
Let me jump in before we go green. I'm going to let you have that call. But something to be thinking about is who has used their tire sets. We've seen people come down pit road 3-4 times. Who has a set of tires left for these final 20 laps? That's going to be a big key.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. As we get back going under green here in the extreme scoring restart zone. Good jump there for Casey Jones, and I have absolutely no idea what just happened with the 127 of Tyler Tillman. He passed the entire field coming to green. It's showing him as the overall leader now, but with a black flag. So I am not sure what exactly happened there. We're going to go ahead and pretend like he's not the leader right now, as you see pulled down to the inside of the track. It's going to leave Casey Jones as your Pro Division leader, Mark Cofield as your AM Division leader. See Barrett Morton there starting to close in on the 34 of Casey Jones for that overall race lead. Seeing if he can get himself a back-to-back win to start the season.
I think Barrett Morton is the guy to beat right now. From all that I've seen, his patience of working through the field, dealing with the traffic, making the right moves, not getting in any kind of mess, and making the right calls to keep him on the attack. It's been the right call every single time, and he is in that position here with about 23 laps to go, while Casey Jones is definitely a little bit quicker. We're watching those tire temps start to come up, like I said a couple cautions ago, and I think we'll see that little 12-lap difference on tires is going to make a pretty big difference here before too long. And I think Barrett Morton is the guy to beat. I think Mark Cofield has been in pretty good shape all night long. He's been pretty quick, got caught up in a couple incidents, now finds himself back up into the top 3, actually leading the amateur. So I think Morton is the guy to beat in the pro division. I think Cofield's the guy to beat in the amateur division, and I'm not quite sure there's anybody that's close that can battle with those two. We'll see what Casey Jones can do as the tires start to wear out, but Barrett Morton has really impressed me tonight.
Yeah, the other thing for Casey Jones is he's 29 laps in on fuel right now. So, of course, we did have the caution laps. That's going to help out. But asking that tank of fuel to go roughly 49 or 50 laps, I don't think, even with the cautions, that is going to be a possibility. And even looking at the AM standings right now, Mark Cofield 31 laps in on fuel, Patrick Fuller 38 laps in on fuel. So even for those two, I would have to say that there's no way you can make it happen. You're going to need a caution to kind of reset things again, to try to get back on even footing with some of these drivers. Otherwise, if it goes green to the end, they're going to have to come down pit road.
And they would be baffled if that was the case. If it goes green to the end, I imagine they would be like, I cannot believe it. Now, we're watching this battle for second between teammates as Mark Cofield putting pressure now on Barrett Moore. But I do want to shout somebody out before we get into much of the racing. Tyler Evans started 16th, but that's a little misleading because he actually had a 30-second hold and went down 2 laps at the start of the race and has gotten himself back on the lead lap, stayed out of trouble. He is currently running 5th overall, 3rd in division, and now on the back bumper of last week's winner, Patrick Fuller. So you talk about fuel, who can make it to the end. Tyler Evans did it 20 laps ago. He's got the fuel to make it to the end. He might be able to get a win here tonight, and a fantastic job of him dealing with this race this week. Or tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. What a story that would be to come back from the penalty, the 2 laps down at the beginning, to be able to get a win here this evening. This field's starting to get strung out just a little bit, but Barrett Morton here, he makes a move for the overall race lead, put the 9 car at the top of the scoring pylon. First time we've seen him up there since the really early stages of the race. And now he's got his teammate Mark Cofield behind, trying to make a move for the AM division lead. It looks like Casey Jones maybe trying to give just a little bit of room here. I mean, if you're Casey, you kind of know your bet is made at this point.
Yeah.
You don't really want to race any harder than you need to. You're probably trying to save just a little bit to stretch it as far as you possibly can on that fuel tank. But Mark Cofield, he certainly isn't saving anything right now. But a little bit further back, there's Tyler Evans, like you mentioned earlier, coming back from that penalty. You see Joseph McWhorter trying to fight his way through. Jamie Lipke, first time we've said her name here this evening, trying to work her way up through the pack, running in 8th overall, 5th in division at the moment. And that's a 19 of Tyler Gibbon that just blinked out just a little bit there down on the bottom of the track.
He's been blinking all night. I'm surprised Race Control hasn't done something about it. I know he's probably tickled that nobody has. You know, those issues are so frustrating to race around. So hopefully it doesn't become an issue later on or make contact. We watched Joseph McWhorter try to make his way up to the front. I can tell you right now, it's too late for McWhorter. I'm gonna put myself out there. He's not gonna be happy to hear this, but McWhorter is gonna need some help here. He's struggling to get past Tyler Evans, who nobody is gonna make it easy on you. But he's having to put so much pressure on those tires. By the time he gets up to Barrett Morton, it'll be too late. So the 72 is gonna have some help to get back up there, but he's got to get around these guys. If caution comes out and you're still stuck behind this traffic, you need to get around him quick. You see he gets a good run off of turn 2 as some cars coming out of pit road. They're going to go 3 wide briefly into 3 and 4, but he's got to make these spots up. He's got to get ahead of Patrick Fuller. That way if a caution comes out, he'll be in striking distance. But you can see Tyler Evans fighting here. Man, look at this gaggle right here as Fuller actually backs up to these drivers, and it is oh my gosh, a dogfight. I love it.
I have a feeling we're about to see 3 wide here down into turns 1 and 2. Fuller up to the top of the track, gets out of the way of these drivers, and the big winner in that is going to be Joseph McWhorter, able to clear that entire pack of cars. Still 2.5, just under 2.5 seconds behind Barrett Morton. But the big thing here to me is that McWhorter really only has 1 car between himself and Morton now.
Wait a minute, we got a problem.
Mark
Cofield down on pit road.
Cofield.
Oh, you talked about it. I'm so sorry. You talked about it, Daniel. He wasn't going to make it, and he didn't. He's coming down pit road.
Well, remember what you said, that some of these drivers would be shocked to see it go green to the end. And I think throw Mark Cofield into that category, that he was definitely banking on another caution. does not play out in his favor here this evening. Comes down, gets his fuel and tires, will now be able to make it to the end, albeit he is going to be a lap down to the leaders and actually not even in position for the free pass at this time. That would be Michael Jones in the 2 car, who is about 3 seconds up the road of Mark Cofield. But yeah, definitely not the situation that he was hoping for. And hey, what about a shout out to that 65 of Samuel Joseph there? Another driver on a really nice comeback. I mean, we saw him involved in a couple of incidents, saw him with the entire front end of that car missing earlier. He's had to utilize that fast repair, but he's got that Canes machine up there looking pretty good right now, going for the number 2 spot here in the division, in that AM division, and looks like he might be able to take it from Tyler Evans here.
Yeah, impressive right there. As you can see, also Tyler Gebbin. All these drivers on the same, they pitted the last time together, but I think Tyler Evans only took fuel only. So no tire, so I don't know if he's out of his tire sets. Is the 7 of Charles Averett goes through the grass as he's trying to come down pit road. It looks like he's going to spin it into the grass. I don't see a caution just yet. I don't think there will caution. Be. Yeah.
Just see if iRacing throws one when he does get back out on the track, but it doesn't appear that they will. Let's take a look on the replay here. Through turns 3 and 4, running that upper groove. I don't believe he was trying to come in and pit. Yeah, no, just contact there as they went through turns 3 and 4. And again, a nice job of keeping it off the wall, not hitting anything in that incident. But loses all of that track position, loses all of that ground that he made, and going to be a bit of a hindrance here for the finishing position of that 7 car. But back up front, you can see right there, battle for the AM win is on. That is Jamie Lipke in the 16. You've got the 65 there as well. Casey Jones now coming down pit road. We talked about him not going to be able to make it to the end. But this battle for the AM win is heating up right here. 3 cars under a blanket. Actually make that 4 with Evans. I don't think there was contact there between the 16 and the 65, but it got close, and it is on for the AM win.
Well, it's on for the AM win, and I'm going to eat some crow maybe, because right now Joseph McWhorter is a couple tenths faster a lap than your leader, Barrett Morton. Now, dirty air is going to play a factor, but look at Tyler Gebbin go to the inside, take advantage of Joseph, and now puts Joseph back into 3rd. But we have 2 battles for the win going on. Last lap, McWhorter almost exactly the same lap time, so he's really going to have to find a little bit of extra. But we got a battle for the AM win right now that's way too exciting to walk away from. Is Jamie Lipke loving to see them battle behind him. Samuel Joseph was trying to make a move. It got a little bit, had to get off of it a little bit, put him behind. We'll see if he can put it back, moving back forward and get up to that 16. Man, we're going to have a great ending to this race. I can feel it.
We are indeed going to have a great ending, and that side-by-side battle was exactly what Jamie Lipke wanted to see. Maybe make that 65 of Samuel Joseph burn up his tires just a little bit. So we ride on board here. Samuel Joseph got that driver cam on here this evening and just tried to track down that 16 of Jamie Lipke. But, you know, you talked about the tire temperatures matter so much with this tire model that iRacing has. Got to wonder if maybe heated them up just a bit much, but that is a huge run there off of turn number 4. You can see just how much Joseph is closing in, gets right near the back bumper of that 16 of Jamie Lipke. But Lipke doing everything she needs to do, trying to put that dirty air on the front of the 65. But momentum with Joseph again off of turn 2.
I saw Lipke get a little bit loose off of turn 2 last lap, and I feel like that gave Joseph that little that blood in the water shark type mentality as they come off of turn 4.
Like he gets a little tight off of 4, but he's still able to keep his foot in it.
Yeah, and Tyler Gebbin right back, making Joseph not feeling comfortable at all, as Joseph actually misses the corner there. 1 and 2 is going to push off the exit. That's not what you want to do here at Texas. You want to use that momentum. And, man, what a great battle we're going to have here as we watch through 3 and 4. You can see Joseph, they're checking up now as the tires start to wear a little bit. Joseph gets a little bit off, gets off the gas a little bit early as Gebbin gets a little bit of the wall back there. But Joseph trying to get a big run down these straightaways to make a move, but you can see how the dirty air affects these cars. Joseph trying to find a way to get around this 16 machine, but it is going to be damn near difficult. Then we go back up front. Barrett Morton with a 1.5 second lead. McWhorter is about a second and a half back with 3 laps to go. Does he have enough time? I don't know if he does. I think this amateur battle is going to be the one to watch.
Yeah, the battle for the Pro Division win has started to level out just a little bit. That tire advantage that McWhorter had, not quite making up the ground the way that he needs to. 2 to go at the line. Jamie Lipke putting that car exactly where she needs to, hitting every mark perfectly through turns 1 and 2, keeping the dirty air on the front of that 65 machine. Samuel Joseph, I've seen him these last few laps. He's backed up this entry to turn number 3, trying to get a run through 3 and 4 to try to make something happen down the front straightaway. White flag is in the air, presented by Glove Station. Quality gloves and protective gear to get you across the finish line. The battle for the AM win is going to come down to the last lap here at Texas. It looked like Joseph got into the turn just a little bit too hard, coming up on a lap car. We'll see if that affects the battle for the win. Joseph looking to the inside. He won here last year in this division at this racetrack. He's trying to defend that AM Series win. Not sure he's going to have enough time. Barrett Morton is going to take home the overall win and your pro win. At the line, it's Jamie Lipke bringing home the AM division win.
What a great night for Jamie Lipke. Always wanting to get better, putting so much time into these races. And Lipke, I've been looking for some good stuff to happen. You can see the fist pump there and wanting to get that dub. And tonight, going to get it here in Texas. And Barrett Morton, I said it, I think he was the guy to beat. Joseph McWhorter, a hell of a run there at the end to try to run him down 1.2 seconds away from trying to get that win. But Barrett Morton going to be your winner in the Pro Division tonight. Daniel, for it to be such a messy race overall, I still think there was a lot going on in this race, and there was a lot of strategy that played out, a lot of really talented drivers kind of separating themselves. And I think Barrett Morton showed tonight that he kind of, he's got what it takes to make all the calls, the right calls, and get up front and win 2 wins in a row here in the ARCA E Series.
You are absolutely correct. Led 29 laps here this evening with those opening wins in the back-to-back opening wins here this season. Barrett Morton already establishing himself as a championship favorite here in the Alexander PC ARCA Series.
Damn good
We're
burnout,
gonna let
too.
him burn it down. Yeah, man, that is a hell of a burnout. I think he's been working on it a little bit here. I was getting ready to send it to commercial, but now I'm kind of curious how far he can burn that thing down on the front straightaway.
I mean, that's a Kyle Larson burnout right there. I've seen Kyle do that, and great burnout at him. You can see Jamie Lipke also burning it down, doing some donuts. Samuel Joseph over there celebrating. Yeah, incredible stuff.
Yeah, awesome job for Barrett Morton, Jamie Lipke bringing home the wins here this evening. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break while these drivers finish up their celebrations. We'll be back with your full race rundown as well as a word from our 2 division winners right after this.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your Glove Station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back here to Texas Motor Speedway. And in all the build up there at the end of the race with talking about those two different battles for the win, it dawned on me we still got another sponsor we got to thank, and that is Cruisin' Classics. Located in Columbus, Ohio, Cruisin' Classics has a beautiful 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There's something for everybody out of their hand-picked selection of muscle cars and hot rods. Just come down to the facility today and check out their website at cruisinclassicsinc.com. Again, we appreciate all of their support here in Goat Locker. But let's go ahead and show you your full race rundown here, your full race finishing results, starting with the Pro Division. Barrett Morton starts second, comes home with the race win here this evening. Joseph McWhorter started in P1. He comes home in the second position. Jamie Barkis, he's going to come home in third position here in division this evening, with Chance Taylor in fourth. George Jewell coming home in fifth. In the sixth place is going to be Christopher Heiner, with Michael Lemieux in seventh. Casey Jones eighth. Daniel Selway Jr. ninth after that hardware malfunction. And Jeremiah Holt finishing 10th in division here this evening.
On the amateur side, you got Jamie Lipke with starting second and finishing in first. They won. Incredible job. Just a great race. Way to hold off Samuel Joseph at the end there. Tough racing. Able to clear it by 100th of a second, or just a little bit less than a tenth, excuse me. Tyler Gibbon was up there all night. Comes home in third with Samuel Joseph there in second. Alan Smith actually recovers for a fourth place finish in the amateur division after that big wreck when I can't remember exactly who it was. Somebody lost their wheel, Daniel Selway, and took him out, so he was able to recover for fourth place. Benjamin Richards there in fifth with Tyler Evans in sixth. Great finish for Tyler Evans after being 2 laps down at the start of the race. Bobby Whitley in seventh. Chase Vargas in that eighth position. In ninth, going to be, oh my goodness. Everything is falling apart on my stuff right here. Edward Fielder. Then you got Bill Mulfield in that 10th position. In 11th, could be Charles Abert. Mark Cofield, I'm sure he's going to be disappointed about this 12th place finish, but honestly had a fantastic race. That cost, having to kind of come down pit road, get that fuel, doesn't really reflect how well he raced tonight. Come home with 12th, but definitely deserved a better finish. Had that pit strategy worked out a little bit better in his favor. And Michael Jones comes home in 13th. He had a disastrous race, multiple contacts, involved in multiple incidents. Just a race he would like to forget. Patrick Fuller, last week's winner, comes home in 14th with Alex Grog in that 15th. Curtis Long in 16th. Tyler Tillman in 17th. 18th, going to be David Brooks. Tom Howe in 19th. Andrew Carnes in 20th. You got 21st is Nick Hummel with Tyler Emmons in 22nd. Dakota Cole in 23rd. Jesse Fox, 24th. Michael Kurkowski going to be in 25th. 26th, John Lawless. And Nick Trussell is going to round out your amateur division field.
Well, Eddie, these drivers have been standing by patiently waiting. Let's go ahead and get a word with our Pro Division winner, Barrett Morton. This is Daniel and Eddie up the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, the box score says started second, finished first, but I know that there was a lot that went on in between. You got back in the mid-pack a little bit, had to work your way back up through the field. How difficult was it trying to work your way back up through the field, and how important was that clean air once you got up there?
Well, this track is different at both ends of the racetrack, so I'm just kind of biding my time, trying to stay out of all these cautions and watch these super slow restarts and sawing at the wheel, just kind of riding around, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
So, one of the things we talked about throughout the race here this evening was pitch strategy and just how important that would be. So was that something that you kind of talked about before the race with the other Bandits guys, as far as, how do you want to play this? Do you want to try to maybe work the math backwards and get into certain pit windows, or was it just kind of play it by ear depending on when the cautions fell?
So practice, we found out that like tire wear was super important here. You'd be out there for just 6-7 laps and you'd have 92% in your tires. Granted, practice was a lot hotter than the race was, but so I just told myself like I'm sick and tired of finishing these races with one, two sets of the pits. It's funny how I finished with still a set in the pits, but so taking tires about every 10 green flag laps was fine with me as long as I still had a set in there. Mark was a big help tonight. Cofield, he had a strong run all night. I mean, he should have been the pro driver tonight for sure. So he was a big help. We were kind of bouncing ideas off of each other until he got caught up in a bad restart or something. So that caused him to change his strategy a little bit. Other than that, man, he was quick. But and all in all, the old tires they kind of plateaued after like 20 laps. So it wasn't really much of a change with fresh tires. So I kind of got lucky that cautions fell where they did, and I my biggest my best luck was just avoiding all the carnage. I mean, I don't know what happened to Selway there at the end. He just kind of lost it, and it took out my teammate Alan Smith. I hate it for him. So, and then the whole bad restarts. It seemed like I picked the right lanes. Tonight was just my night. Oh, and JJ Jeremy Holt. I told him I was going to win this race for him because he had some even worse luck than Alan did. So, shout out to him as
Man,
well.
awesome job at getting the win. Can't ask for a better start in the season than to come out here and win the first two. So congrats on that. Before we let you go tonight, who you want to thank, any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, everything you guys do over at V Speed. Um, I don't even know what series is this? Is it ARCA? Oh yeah, so Alexander PCs. I need to look at upgrading my PC, so I'm gonna probably give them a shout. RD Designs, all the guys at Bandits, those guys have really been a big help, and it's been a lot of fun chatting with them. We do miss you in there, so hopefully you come back and race with us Wednesday night. But um, you, Daniel, Kaiser, Mark, uh, Alan, even Brandon Wallace. But it was nice to actually beat the 72, on a run tonight. So I'm tired of seeing his rear end cross the line in front of me all the time. Did you see that burnout? That was a pretty sweet burnout.
Hey, actually, Eddie and I left the camera on you a little bit longer. We were getting ready to go to commercial, and we were like, "Man, this is a hell of a burnout. We got to leave it on this." So yeah, we did catch that. You getting a lot of practice at him here recently. So congrats again on the win, man, and we will see you next week at Rockingham.
All right, man. I appreciate it. We're 2 for 2 with you being in the booth, so maybe you're the good luck charm, right? And quit picking me. Do not pick me. All right. So
All
another
right.
shout out to Heritage Landscape Group. So that's who's on my car. So they got tons of stores all over the place for landscape irrigation needs. So thank you very much, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Barrett. Have a good evening. And Eddie, you are standing by with our AM division winner, Jamie Lipke.
Well, Jamie, you've had some rough races from time to time, and that gummit. Sometimes it's nice just to see the fruits of your labor, where you've been putting in a lot of work, trying to get better, trying to get into victory lane, and get those full races put together. And tonight, I feel like that's what you did. How do you see it?
Just taking my time, being patient, not letting the stuff get to me, not letting, the caution after caution. That stuff gets frustrating, and just not letting that stuff, get to me, and just trying to keep driving with a clean head.
Well, and that seems like what you did. It was a tough race from a lot of standpoints, a lot of pit strategy, knowing when to take tires, when not to take tires, when to take fuel only, when to come down pit road, and when to really push and try to make the moves you need to be up front. You were able to do that. You had the right strategy. Cofield has to come down pit road, which gave you the lead and then put you in a position to have to fight off Samuel Joseph, who was charging really, really hard. Talk me through those last few laps as you were battling the 65 there for that AM win.
It was one of those, he's my teammate, and I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize both of us. So I figured I was just going to try to defend the bottom. If he took the high side and got that run, I wasn't going to do anything egregious. It's like if he gets the run, he gets the run, and good race. And was able to just keep that bottom defended, get those good runs off of two, and was able to keep maintaining that lead.
Well, you did that. You got down to the end. Incredible job. Congratulations on the win tonight. A fantastic way to start the season. So congratulations. Anything else from the race that you kind of wanted to talk about? Anything that happened that you were kind of surprised by tonight?
Something to bear in mind is we do have like a lot of really new people to iRacing. So there was a lot of frustration, I think, with some of that. And again, it was just keeping a cool head throughout the race. Stuff's going to happen. People are learning. Just try to take it easy. And there was a couple of times, people are side by side. It's like, okay, I got to make the pass if I'm going to get somewhere in this race, and just make it quick, get it clean, get it done, and continue on.
Well, continue on. You did. Continued on to that AM win. Congratulations, Jamie, on getting that victory. And now the floor is yours. Who do you have to thank?
I'd like to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Alexander PCs for sponsoring the series, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, Above the Yellow Line. Gotta thank my family for supporting me through all this. It takes a special group of people to, support you through something that they think is a waste of time. So, big props to my family for supporting me through that. Awesome race, Samuel Yosef. Can't wait to race you again next week or our other races throughout the week. And, SRP, glad to put us up on the podium again.
All right. Well, there you have it. Jamie Lipke, your amateur win tonight. Well, Daniel, incredible stuff tonight.
Yeah, it really was. Even with it being a little bit of a messy race with the cautions, with some of the incidents that we saw, still plenty of intrigue, a lot to talk about, the different pit strategies, the different agendas that drivers had, and just a lot of really good battles there at the end once we got that green flag racing in. Two really awesome battles for the win there as well. Next week, though, we're going to a track that has always kind of bewildered me. One that I'm going to have to lean on you next week, Eddie, as far as trying to figure out how to explain to get around this place. We're going to be at Rockingham Speedway next week for race number 3 of the season. See the rest of the schedule up there. Then we head to Old Atlanta, Lime Rock, Chicagoland, New Hampshire, Dover, Gateway, Nashville, rounding out the regular season. Then those playoff races at Richmond, Auto Club, Pocono, Wilkesboro, and the season finale at Las Vegas. Going to be a really good season, and we are just getting started here with it. Still got a lot of racing ahead of us. But that is going to do it for our coverage here this evening at Texas Motor Speedway. So on behalf of Patrick Drabick, Jamie Barkis, and everyone here at Goat Locker Racing, for everybody at B-Speed, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Morgan Cook, my colleague up here in the booth, Eddie Smith, and of course, Dougie Beard for those cameras. My name is Daniel Cunningham. We will see you next week at Rockingham for race number 3 of the Alexander PC ARCA series here with Goat Locker.